What is up, guys? Today we're going to be answering your questions. That's right. I put out a little post there, and, very much to my surprise, my beautiful wife decided to get on this channel and say hello to you guys. And this is a big deal. So let's say hi to my wife.
Hi.
Yes. So you guys have given us some questions, and we're just going to jump right into it, okay? So the first one is from Mitchell Robinson, and it says, as a new reader to fantasy and also a fan to the dark and dastardly, what is the nastiest book you've read, but was also a great read? And so this is a tough one because I've read a whole lot of nasty, dark, fucked up shit. But I gotta say that The Unholy Consult, I think, is the book that took it to a place that I've never been, and I don't even necessarily know if I wanted to go there, but all in all, it was a phenomenal book, and really, it was like life-changing kind of stuff. So, really fucked up, though. And you?
I think I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I don't think I've read any books that could be classified as nasty. And I was going through these comments thinking people must think because Mark is dark and dastardly and nasty that I too would be into reading those type of books, and I'm just not. I think people have to understand that Mark needs somebody to balance him out a little bit.
Yeah, she doesn't read the fucked up shit that I do. All right, next question is from Zara, Books with Zara, and it says, would love to know whether your wife is a reader too, and if so, what is her favorite book? Do you both have a shared favorite book?
So, yeah, I would call myself a reader. I was a reader way before Mark kind of got into reading really heavily, especially. We do have 4 children and a newborn, so only one parent can be an avid reader.
Only one of us gets to waste time.
I mean, I do think that this is fun. It's way easier for me to flip and read a book on my phone because I can just hold the baby and flip through my phone. A paper book is something a little bit that's harder to read right now. But I grew up reading. I love reading. I still call myself a reader. My favorite book is probably the Night Circus. That's
The Night Circus.
That's a great book. And I think we kind of do have a shared.
We do have a shared
book.
favorite book, City of Thieves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, City of Thieves, which is funny. It's a really, really great read. I can't place it in maybe my top 10 or anything, but it's a really engaging and compelling read. And the author, gosh darn it, what's his name? He's the same guy that wrote for the Game of Thrones stuff. And it's funny because people be like, oh, that guy can't write. And I'm like, well, this book was great. So.
It was a great book. I think I read it first and recommended it to you, and you end up loving it.
Yeah,
I talk about it.
I don't take recommendations very often, and when I do, I guess I'm always rolling my eyes. And I probably was with that one, but in the end, I really, really enjoyed City of Thieves.
Yeah.
All right, next is from Andrew, from Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and it says, what is your wife's favorite book series? If you had to recommend her one grimdark book, which would it be?
Oh, my favorite book series. I don't know if people are gonna like this, but I'm going with Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
I grew up on them. That's a series that still has a really special place in my heart. That was one of the first times that I remember feeling like truly transported in a book series and just not waiting for the next one to come out. And I mean, before I could even really read, my older sister was reading me the first Harry Potter. So, special connection to those books. That's my answer.
And if I could recommend you one grimdark book, what would it be? I think, honestly, it could very well be the one I just read, The Empire of the Vampire. I think that you would actually enjoy that because there is some romance and love and stuff like that in there. It's also pretty fucked up. But also, I kind of want to say Between Two Fires. I think that you would dig Between Two Fires. It is kind of a fantasy book, but it's not really. It's more like an alternate, our world, and it takes place in medieval France during a plague, and
Oh, sweet.
there's a lot of like heaven hell stuff played in there. I think that you would really that's actually the one I think I'd go with, Between Two Fires.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so the next one from Zero Zaku 1. Favorite magic system you have encountered and favorite gritty comic book series. So definitely my favorite magic system, I'm going with Michael R. Fletcher's magic system in the Manifest Illusion series, because you're literally taking, crazy people, psychoses and all this stuff, and flipping it into magic. So, pyromaniacs have the ability of fire, and all this stuff. It's just really fucking cool. It's a very refreshing magic system, and for something like within the grimdark subgenre, you don't really find a whole lot of like this like well fleshed out kind of magic systems. It really blew me away, and that's pretty much an easy one for me. As far as my favorite gritty comic book series, I think I'm going to have to say East of West. East of West, it's finished. It's fucking just breathtaking. The art, the story, everything is phenomenal. Yeah, East of West. Okay, so next up is from Max Cool Jazz, and it is there a series everyone loves that you dove into and just hated? Oh, man. Do you have anything that was like popular that you read? That
I don't feel like no. And if I didn't like the book, I was just gonna shelve it and not ever think about it again.
Right. Right. I would say that, like, honestly, before I finally conquered that hill, I might have said the Liza Locke Lamora and the Gentleman Bastard sequence by Scott Lynch, because everybody loves that and they praise it super highly, and I was never able to finish book one, but I finally did, and I actually find his writing very impressive. Maybe still, not 100% my style, but I really dug the story. Oh, okay, I know. And this is another weird one, because I read it and I actually really liked it when I first read it, but it's a book that progressively, as I got away from it, I hated it more and more and more, and that's The Poppy War. Everybody loves that stuff. So, I mean, I never really carried into book two. I was planning on it, and that, like I said, just as I got further away from book one, I just kind of started finding more and more issues personally with it. So, yeah, I'd have to say The Poppy War. So, next up is from William Ramskill. It says, when are we going to get this full bookshelf tour? And this is, I don't know what to do here, because honestly, guys, I don't have like this like elaborate bookshelf. You see most of the books that I have, right, like already on display. There's a couple more that are always out of the shot. But I'm not a guy that has like this elaborate book collection or even a very like well put together set of books.
He just has a lot of books.
They're literally lying all over the goddamn place down here in a very like sporadic order. Not only that, I also give books away. Like a lot of times that was kind of just how I felt about books. It was like if I read it and I liked it, I would give it to somebody else in hopes that they would read it and we could talk about it. So I still kind of do that. I think since running a channel, I've started to covet books more than I ever have, but it's not something I really want to show off, I guess. All right, next up we have a question from the Phobos, and it's if you had to get a tattoo based off of something related to books, what would it be? Well,
Jorgen Grass face.
Yeah, it would be Jorgen Grass because that's what I got. I don't know if I have a video where I kind of. Yeah, that's actually really recent though. And if I was to get another one though, it'll probably be within Second Apocalypse. I don't know what. I mean, I kind of know there's so many characters that mean so much to me within that series. I could get a number of tattoos of characters from there.
And this is from the Phobos. She
yes.
has a two-part question.
Oh, and for my wife here, have you or would you read your hubby grimdark book out loud? And would you do the voices?
So I didn't even know that there are voices.
Yeah, some guys do voices.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's kind of my my idea of like a perfect night is curled up in bed with you. And I think I have a couple of times read out loud to you.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. I haven't read anything grimdark to myself. I would read it to you. I would do the voices.
It would be pretty cute to be like laying there and to hear my wife try to voice some super salty, surly, knuckle-dragging grimdark character. Oi, love, you motherfucker! All right, so next question's up from Insulatus. I think that's how we say it. Oh, God damn it. Any upcoming grimdark releases you are looking forward to? I.e. Baker's next book. Of course, I think anyone that has finished the second Apocalypse series is just sitting there with fucking twiddling their thumbs waiting for that next book. But, you know, since who knows when that's coming? Gosh, I don't know. I don't really... Oh, I know. I guess the one that I think I'm probably the most excited for to come out would be the next book in the Obsidian Path series by Michael R. Fletcher. So far, he's got Blackstone Heart and She Dreams in Blood. And She Dreams in Blood was so goddamn good, especially the further you got into it. And that ending, I cannot wait to see what happens next. So, yeah, absolutely. The next Obsidian Path series book is definitely the one I want. Next question's from Book Reading Billy. Is there an author you haven't read yet but are wanting to get to? Who do you have big hopes for? I don't know if there is. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Is there anybody that you are trying, like, have heard a big name that you haven't read yet that you're trying to get to?
No, you know, I follow a couple, like, up-and-coming artists on, authors on Twitter. There's a book coming out, I think, in August of 2020, The Ones We Burn by, Rebecca Mix that I'm like really excited for, but other than that I can't really think of anything.
I think as far as like big named authors, I've read damn near everybody, but I have to say Robin Hobb is one. I think that's probably the biggest one that I haven't read. That or maybe Gene Wolfe is another one that I'm interested in. Maybe not as big as Robin Hobb, but definitely has a big, a following of his own. Next question is from Dave Edmonds. Do you ever use a grimdark buddy read for a romantic evening together?
I think we're gonna start.
Yeah, we might have to start. Yeah, like we were saying earlier, it's just like our reading taste couldn't probably be further apart. Like, from not to say that we can't enjoy similar stuff, but yeah, we just. When the choices are on the table, we're reaching for two opposite ends.
Definitely. I mean, I think we watch TV and movies together a lot more than we read together. And if it's not comedy, I kind of don't want it.
Yeah.
With the exception of like a few movies that are, The Village by M. Night Shyamalan is a great movie. One of my favorite movies, not a comedy. So in terms of eating up that kind of media, if it's not funny, I don't want something that's not going to scare me. Or
she likes to feel good. She wants to laugh and feel good. And I'm trying to scare the shit out of myself, jump through my own skin, or just have a nightmare. You know what I mean? So it's a variety between the two of us. But yeah, maybe we need to start. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Next question's from David Desero. What is one thing you've learned from your wife, and what is one thing she has learned from you? Oh, well, I think I've learned an infinite amount of things from my wife. God. Man, one thing I learned about my wife was that this is the thing. I'm a very cynical person, and it's easy for me to almost blanket everybody in on the same bed and be like, people are horrible. Like, there's not a whole lot of hope out there. And I kind of learned a lot from my wife, really just in how she acts, because she's a very, like, generous, very understanding, and a very loving person. And so I learned that a lot of my beliefs were faulty, because here was somebody right in front of me proving me wrong kind of every goddamn day. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty big.
That's sweet. I'm not that great. I think something I've learned from you, and like this sounds kind of cliche, is just don't worry. And I know that sounds really simple, but it's not, because it taught me that when you're actually approaching a problem, you can approach it with a much clearer mind, and you can figure out a much better solution when you're not plagued with all of this worry and unnecessary anxiety. So just don't worry about it.
Yeah,
don't
cooler
worry about
heads
it
prevail for sure.
Yeah, that was a good lesson to learn from you. It saved me a lot of panic attacks.
Next question is from Angela Gualtieri. I probably got that wrong. Are there any books you and your wife have vastly different opinions on?
Every book Mark has read.
Yeah, probably every single book. Every single book except for City of Thieves, I guess.
Which is fine.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, that's...
I guess it's not super fair to say, though, because I haven't ventured into grimdark.
And it's not like I've really gone into your world either.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the first video we've done together. I've kind of had this mindset of this is Mark's thing and Mark loves it, and I'm going to let Mark enjoy his thing. But you guys make it look so damn fun that now I'm here.
Yes. All right, so next question is from Lorne, and it is, what were your wife's thoughts when you initially broached the discussion regarding your newborn's middle name? So this is great.
And I was so excited to answer this question because...
because some of you might not know that our brand new baby, Mr. Rome Proyas, his middle name Proyas comes from the second Apocalypse series from a character Nursei Proyas. And that, obviously, when we were having a kid and we found out we were having a boy, a slew of fantasy names went through my head, and there were some I knew were just never going to happen, although I would try, like Jorg. But yes, I think, I approached her with the Proyas thing. Well, you know what, before I even give what do you...
He approached me with it. It took some convincing. We'll say that. It took some convincing. Names mean a lot to me, and if it wasn't going to be a family name, I wanted it to be a literary character. Those just have like the most pull of meaning for names in my book, at least, and it's where my name came from.
Yeah, your name's from a book.
Because I was so vehement about his first name and adamant that his name be Rome, Roam, and I understand that is different and unique. He is our last child, so I decided it's fair if Mark gets to name his middle name, and I love his middle name. I love his name together, and it obviously just meant so much to Mark, and really, hate to put you on blast, but he got emotional pleading his case.
Yeah, I did. I did get emotional.
How was I gonna?
That's how. I mean, that's really why when you're kind of sifting through the options, and then it's like when I got to that one, I think I got pretty stubborn. You know what I mean? Like I was pretty like, oh, okay, this one. What about this one? But then when I landed on that one, there was, because I was also finishing up the series, and there was some things that were happening that it was so heavy, and without spoiling things, for those that want to read those books, which I really recommend, it's just this character grew I grew an attachment to the character, and by the end, it wasn't a character in a book, it was a brother of mine, or it was like a version of me. It was a lot of things that were very personal. And so, yes, I was pushing the Proyas pretty hard, and I'm glad.
I'm glad you did.
Yes, I'm glad. And she knows all the stuff, you know what I mean? Like, she's in the full know. She's not, oblivious to all the stuff that happens with said character. So, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying is like the personal stuff really shines through. I think she knew I was coming from a true place from the heart when proposing that name. So, next question's from Dave Edmonds. Who is your wife's literary heartthrob? And let's hope the book in question doesn't contain a color somewhere between black and white in the title.
This made me laugh really hard because I'm not really super sure what he means by a color in the title. But I laughed and I was telling Mark about this question because I think just this year I started reading a little bit of smut. So I said it would probably be one of those characters. And it's funny because a lot of those titles have colors in the name.
That's, what's funny though too is where a lot of people will be like, oh, grimdark, it's dark, it's kind of cringy because of the violence in this content that it has. But then, on the other side of the fucking house, you got my wife who's reading sexy, scantily clad, maybe smutty stuff. And honestly, if I put my eyes on that shit, it makes me kind of like, you know what I mean? I get kind of prudish when it comes to sex in my books. I'm getting better with it, but it is kind of funny. I think how each other's stuff might kind of make each of us a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, who's your heartthrob?
I don't know. I've honestly been mulling this question over in my head a lot, and I think that, I don't know.
You don't know?
I think maybe my delicious husband is just at the forefront of my mind so much that just no one else compares.
No. So next question's from Malgra, and it is, who is your favorite antagonist and why? Do you have a favorite antagonist, a favorite bad guy?
You go
okay.
first. And then
okay.
maybe we'll come back.
I have to say my favorite antagonist has got to be Melkor from J.R. Tolkien's world. Okay, so like especially in the Silmarillion, that's really where you're gonna get the most of him. But as a kid, Melkor, I saw this like illustration of Melkor and Ungoliant, the spider, when I was a kid, and they were so creepy and cool. It really drew me into it, and that's a huge reason why I even got like into fantasy. Tolkien stuff is very high up there, and Melkor is almost the complete reason I wanted to get into Tolkien stuff. I love it wasn't about the hobbits. It wasn't about, the good guys, good triumphing evil. No, I wanted to see this horrible, nasty dude, Melkor, fucking shit up in Middle Earth, And I gotta say, after finishing the Silmarillion years ago, god damn, it's just it's an epic story on epic proportions. There's nobody that's done better world building than Tolkien. And that character, I feel like there's plenty of people that'll agree, is just one of the most iconic bad guys ever written. Enough said. The next question's from Sozon Ropatus, and it is, are you a fellow metalhead? What are your musical tastes? I am a metalhead, but I'm kind of an everything head, I think. I listen to fucking everything. But I do go through, I think I go through little phases where I'll be like, I'm only listening to this for a minute and then on to the next. But I have a wide variety of musical tastes, but I do love some death metal. What about you?
No, not a metal fan. But similar. I think I listen to a lot. My mom was really into music growing up. It was a lot of Prince, and I think she kind of helped me develop my love for all things music. My dad was very classical and jazz music, and on Sundays in the morning reading the paper, and I think I got exposed to a lot of really, really good music.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of stuff that's probably considered garbage, but...
I do too.
The next question's from Dippin BK. Your top 10 books of all time. You can't do it?
No.
No? All right. Well, I guess I can give it a whack.
I can't number books like
well,
that.
like honestly,
That's not fair.
dude, it's kind of unfair to, a lot, but it's like the second Apocalypse series is 7 books long, and honestly, 5 of those motherfuckers are going on my top 10. So you're going to get Darkness That Comes Before is definitely going on there. The Warrior Prophet is going on there. God. Yeah, I got to put White Luck Warrior on there, The Great Ordeal, and The Unholy Consult. So the only ones I'm not putting on there are The Thousandfold Thought and The Judging Eye. And it's not that I don't like those books. Those are still like 5-star reads to me. It's just the other 5 were fucking like soul-shattering, mind-blowing style reads. So there's 5 right there. I got, man, it's gonna get tough now. So I'll just say King of Thorns, because out of the Broken Empire trilogy, that's probably the best one. Even though Prince was kind of more of my favorite, I'm gonna say King of Thorns just because it's a wild fucking ride. The Tower of Living and Dying by Anna Smith Spark. I read that this year and I was really fucking blown away. Like, I love that book. Oh God, Beyond Redemption. I can't believe it's taken me this long to say that. Beyond Redemption, by far, that is such an easy that is one of my like top reads for sure. So what do I got left? 2? Oof, man. I really kind of want to put Between Two Fires in there because it's just so goddamn good. It's just so goddamn good. So we're putting Between Two Fires in there. And I'm sure I'm probably forgetting about something, but that last spot, shit. Who's getting that last spot? Oh, shit. You know what? I have to give I just even mentioned it. The Silmarillion, by far. That shit is going in the top 10. There you go. So next question is from Kevin S. And it's, do you listen to extreme metal music? And I think, yeah, I do. I'll listen to some pretty heavy shit. Though I guess you got to kind of elaborate, and maybe I should have earlier, because everyone's definition of heavy can get a little different. But when you say like extreme heavy metal, I think of Job for a Cowboy, early Make Them Suffer, stuff like that. Maybe that's about as heavy as I probably got. What's that other goddamn? You Only Live Once. Suicide Silence. Yeah, stuff like that's pretty fucking heavy to me. So that's probably the stuff I dig though too. The next question's from Nexus Shadow, and it is: I have a question for both of you. How are you? Aww.
We both just thought this was the nicest
This is
question.
the nicest goddamn question. Yeah. I'll let you go first.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
No, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
We do have a new baby, so we're pretty much sleepless monsters most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go back to work next week. My full-time job begs of me, and yeah, I think we're doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I think that's the main thing is just like being exhausted, just being so fucking tired. There's a lot of shit going on. Life throws a number of things at you that'll keep you busy, but then having kids will even keep you even busier. Then throw, trying to review books and run a channel, it gets even crazier. So yeah, I'm a bit tired, I think. And yeah, I don't know if this is at all anything to do with the fact that maybe my channel has gone a little bit more rogue and a little more unhinged. I think it's just
blame the baby.
You know what I mean? The thing is, at one point my channel was monetized, and then it was demonetized, and then remonetized. It was like during that little bit, I kind of just thought about how important everything was to me, because obviously I have a wife, I have kids, I have other responsibilities, and it's how I'm putting a lot of time in here, and it was kind of getting jerked around a little bit, and I remember getting a little salty, and so I kind of stopped giving a shit. But at that same time, I kind of almost started having a little bit more fun. It's the less fucks I gave, the more fun I had. And so it stopped. Like, I didn't give a shit anymore. It wasn't like I was trying to make money anyway and all that, you know. So it's just at this point now, you're getting a little bit more unhinged version of me, but that's where I feel it's more fun. You know what I mean? Like, the more I act like I have a stick up my ass, the less fun it is on this channel. The more I can just kind of loosen up and be ridiculous, I think the more everyone's going to enjoy that. And my mental health will, you know, increase. And I won't have to be stressed out about fucking numbers and whatever. Who gives a shit? Is that too much?
No. I think that's just.
Next question's from Lauren. It is that your reading chair behind you in your videos?
This is my reading chair.
Oh.
This is my reading chair and also my lamp that Mark has commandeered.
Yeah, I jacked her stuff.
I was really excited when he came to me and told me that he wanted to do a YouTube channel, and one of the really fun things that we got to do together was kind of making a little set for him in the corner of the house. And so I gladly offered some things for him to use for the background, and I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
Your videos are gorgeous.
It looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll answer kind of for you. He doesn't really read back here. I'll come back here and use this chair sometimes because it is a comfortable chair. But Mark kind of is reading
everywhere,
all around the house.
Everywhere. Yeah, I think that's almost a problem though too. Is like, because it might be better if I had a specific spot to read, because of reading everywhere, I get horrible posture and my back fucking hurts, and I should probably pick a spot.
I think
stick
you know
to it.
you're old when reading.
Reading
one
hurts.
One of the reasons that you have back pain.
Next question's from Darren, and it's, how did you guys meet?
This is one of my favorite, and it's such a silly story, but it is the story of how we met, so it is kind of wonderful. Mark was managing a store that I would have not gone in ever. Never had a reason to go in there.
I managed a vape shop.
And I did not vape. So I had a girlfriend we were going to work together one day, and she was wearing her pajamas. I was dressed up for work. And she asked me, will you stop in this store for me? I don't want to go in my pajamas. Will you pick something up? She was gonna send it to her husband. And I walked in and I saw Mark, and Mark basically tripped out of his chair getting up to come and help me. And I think that's what I said. I think I just was so, over my head, and I just walked in the door and said, can someone help me? And he was the guy for the job. He was volunteering his tribute. But there was just kind of an instant kind of connection. He was pretty heavily tattooed. He wasn't as heavily tattooed as he is now, but he was pretty heavily tattooed, which was honestly a little bit intimidating to me at first. But as soon as he opened his mouth and as soon as he laughed, I just thought, oh my God, this is a really funny, genuine, sweet guy. And I was right. So yeah, he helped me out with the rest of our purchase, and it turned out he knew this friend and the husband that she was picking something up for, and I was able to get his name and stalk him on the interwebs.
Yeah. On my side of it, it was like, literally, I manage this vape shop, and I'm at a spot in this job where I don't do a whole lot. I sit on my ass, basically, you know what I mean? So it's really funny to see, basically, the boss jump up to go help somebody, you know what I mean? She walked through the door and was like, oh, could someone help me? And I was out of my seat as fast as I could get the fuck out of that seat so I could help you, because you looked like you needed to be helped by me. And yes, she was sent in there by her friend. Her friend was getting something for her husband, and her husband is a guy I know. So it all just kind of ended up working out very strangely. And it all happened fairly quick too.
It happened fairly quick, and we've been together.
And been together ever since?
Ever since. 6 years.
6 years?
I think so. Yeah.
Last question's from Nick Carlson, and it says, cheese
And I'm glad that we saved the best for last because this really is my favorite. Favorite question.
Look, I'm not exactly sure if you're asking if I eat cheese, because if that's the question, then the answer is fuck yeah, I eat cheese.
Yeah, no, I mean, my answer is just yes, in whatever shape, form, or regard.
Whatever way you're asking this, the answer is yes.
Yes to cheese.
Yes.
Any type of cheese. More, please.
Oh, there's our baby boy. And that's the last of the questions. So It's kind of working out perfect. We're going to go take care of our bouncing bundle of joy before he develops some kind of quirk or stutter or just, complex for being abandoned by his parents. So for you guys that hung in there and watched, thank you so much. We're glad that we can answer your questions. You want to add anything?
No, just nice to see and meet everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
And thanks for, welcoming me into the Discord. I'm not in there very often, but the community of readers has just been awesome.
Yeah. Right on, guys.